Let me ask you something. When was the last time you thought about how long you're going to live? Not in a gloomy, fearful way, but seriously thought about how your daily habits are shaping your future? Here's the thing. We all want to live longer, but more importantly, we want to live better. What if I told you that your body is giving you clues every single day about how much time you might have left? And believe it or not, there are 4 body parts that, if you keep them clean every day, could help you live not just longer, but stronger. Now, I know that might sound a little surprising. You've probably heard plenty about eating right, exercising, taking your meds, and staying active. But this is something most people overlook entirely. Yet doctors are saying it's more important than ever, especially for those of us past 70. I've spent hours reading through medical journals, listening to expert interviews, and digging through real-life examples to bring you something you won't hear in your average health segment. You don't have to do the research, I already did it for you. All I ask is that you stick around, maybe hit that subscribe button if you find this helpful, and leave a comment down below if any of this reminds you of something you've gone through. Who knows? Your story might help someone else. So here's what this video is about. The 4 specific body parts seniors must clean every single day if they want to live longer and feel better while doing it. These aren't just hygiene tips. These are daily actions tied directly to things like heart health, immune strength, and even brain function. And no, we're not talking about obsessively scrubbing every inch of your body. We're talking about targeted areas that play a bigger role in your health than you might think. Let's start with a spot you've probably never considered dangerous: your mouth. Yep, your mouth. Not just brushing your teeth, but really keeping your mouth clean. Why does this matter so much? Well, your mouth isn't just where you eat and talk. It's home to billions of bacteria, some good, some bad. If the bad ones get out of control, they don't just cause gum disease. They get into your bloodstream and travel to your heart. That's right. Studies have shown that poor oral hygiene in older adults is linked to a higher risk of heart disease, strokes, even Alzheimer's. Think about it. If your gums bleed when you brush, or you've got chronic bad breath, that's your body waving a big red flag. It's not just about your smile, it's your life. Taking 2 minutes twice a day to properly brush, flossing at least once, and using an antiseptic rinse can drastically lower your risk of serious illness. And for those who wear dentures, they need cleaning just like natural teeth, daily. Neglecting that can cause fungal infections, gum sores, and make eating painful, which means you're less likely to get the nutrition you need. Let me tell you a quick story. A man named Jerry, 75 years old, never had a cavity in his life, but he started ignoring his gums. They bled, they hurt, but he figured, I'm old, it's normal. Well, that inflammation turned into an infection, and that infection led to bacterial buildup in his arteries. One mild heart attack later, Jerry's dentist told him what his doctor never did. This might have started with your gums. It's not about scaring you. It's about showing how connected everything really is. Now let's move just a little further up to your nose. Surprised again? Here's the deal. As we age, our nose gets drier, our sinuses clog up more easily, and guess what lives in there when we don't keep it clean? Germs. And not just the kind that gives you a cold. Stagnant bacteria in your nasal passages can cause chronic sinus infections that mess with your sleep, your sense of smell, and your breathing. That last one? Critical. You don't need fancy tools or products. A simple saline rinse once a day can work wonders. It flushes out allergens, bacteria, and mucus buildup. And if you're someone who uses oxygen or deals with allergies, keeping your nose clean is non-negotiable. You want to breathe deeply and clearly, not struggle with blocked passages and dry airways. Here's where it gets more interesting. When your nose is congested, your brain doesn't get enough oxygen. This affects memory, focus, and even mood. A clean nose can mean clearer thinking and better rest. Ever notice how a stuffy nose makes you toss and turn all night? That poor sleep takes a toll on your immune system, your blood pressure, and your energy. So yes, even something as simple as cleaning your nose every day could help you stay sharper and more energized. Let's talk about someone who took this advice to heart. Maria, 82 years old. She had constant sniffles, low energy, and brain fog. Her doctor ruled out infections, allergies, and all the usual suspects. You know what made the difference? A nasal rinse every morning. Within weeks, her energy improved. Her thinking was clearer. She was sleeping better. One small change, big reward. Now, before we move on, let's just pause for a second. I know this might all sound a little unusual, maybe even a little odd. You're probably thinking, clean my nose? My gums? But when you think about the years you've already lived and the years you still want to enjoy, it starts to make sense. Small things add up. And in this stage of life, it's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most, the essentials. Because let's be honest, no one wants to spend their golden years in and out of doctors' offices, struggling with infections, losing their energy, or feeling foggy all the time. You want to travel, spend time with grandkids, enjoy hobbies, or just wake up feeling good in your body. That starts with paying attention to the little signals your body gives you and responding with simple, effective habits. And if those habits are as easy as keeping a few key body parts clean, that's a gift, a small effort for a huge return. So far, we've talked about the mouth and the nose, two areas that are way more important than they might seem, but there are still a couple more spots you've got to hear about. And trust me, these next ones might surprise you even more. You'd think after decades of living, we'd already know everything there is to know about taking care of ourselves. But isn't it funny how the smallest details, like which body parts to clean and how often, can make the biggest difference? We've already covered the mouth and the nose, two places where bacteria love to hang out and quietly mess with our health. But now let's talk about something even more overlooked. Another body part you probably use every single day without a second thought, your ears. Now hold on, I'm not saying you need to go digging around with cotton swabs or getting deep in there with tools. That can actually be dangerous. But the outer part of your ears, the folds, the back, even the area behind your ears, that's a different story. Why does this matter so much, especially as we get older? Well, as skin ages, it becomes thinner, drier, and more prone to infection. Your ears, particularly the outer and behind the ear areas, are easy to forget, but they collect oil, sweat, dirt, and even dead skin. If you wear hearing aids or glasses, that area gets even more buildup. And when that grime sits there too long, it can lead to irritation, fungal infections, or even pressure sores. There's a woman named Ruth, 79, who wore hearing aids daily. She thought she was cleaning them well, but what she didn't realize was that the skin behind her ears was constantly moist from trapped sweat. Over time, it caused a raw spot that turned into an infection. Her doctor told her something she never expected. This started because your skin couldn't breathe. It's the kind of thing that's easy to miss, but so simple to fix. A gentle wipe with a warm washcloth once a day, especially after wearing aids or glasses, is enough to keep that area clean and dry. You don't need fancy products, just attention. Think of it like wiping your hands, quick, easy, and absolutely worth the time. And here's the part people never talk about. Infections around the ears can spread. Your ears are close to your lymph nodes, your jaw, even your brain. So a small problem left untreated can snowball into something more serious. Staying on top of it now can help you avoid a whole lot of discomfort, or worse, down the line. All right, now let's shift a little lower, because this next one is one of the most neglected and underestimated areas of all, your feet. Oh yes, your feet, the workhorses of your body. They've carried you for decades, through jobs, raising families, walking dogs, dancing at weddings. And yet so many people forget to really take care of them. Not just trimming the nails, but cleaning between the toes, drying them properly, and inspecting them daily. Why is this so crucial? Because as we age, circulation to the lower parts of our body, especially the feet, can slow down. This makes it harder for your body to fight off infections. Cuts or cracks in the skin take longer to heal. For people with diabetes or neuropathy, a tiny sore can become a major health issue in no time. And here's something a lot of folks don't realize. Fungal infections like athlete's foot thrive in warm, dark, moist places, exactly where socks and shoes keep your feet all day long. If left alone, those infections don't just make your feet itch. They break down the skin, open the door to bacteria, and can turn into cellulitis or worse. Let me tell you about Frank. He was 81, still sharp and independent, but started ignoring his foot hygiene. Said it was too much bending, too much effort. Then he noticed a small crack near his pinky toe. Didn't think much of it. Weeks later, he was in the ER with a swollen leg and a serious infection that started right there. All because of one little crack that got infected and spread. Cleaning your feet isn't about vanity. It's about staying out of the hospital. Every day after a shower or bath, gently scrub them with soap and water, rinse well, and most importantly, dry them completely. Between the toes too. Moisture is the enemy down there. If you can't reach easily, there are great tools with extended handles. Or you can even sit down and elevate your foot on a low stool to make it easier. And if you notice anything odd, discoloration, swelling, pain, or a wound that doesn't heal, don't wait. Talk to your doctor or a foot care specialist. It's never just a toe when it comes to your health. You see, every one of these body parts we've talked about, your mouth, nose, ears, and feet, might seem small on their own, but together they play a huge role in keeping your body running smoothly. They're gatekeepers, entry points, signals. If you keep them clean and healthy, your whole body benefits. It's not about perfection, it's about prevention. A couple of minutes each day, a little more attention, and you're stacking the odds in your favor. You're giving yourself a better chance to keep moving, keep thinking clearly, and keep enjoying the life you've worked so hard for. Now I get it. Maybe some of these habits aren't things you were taught growing up. Maybe they weren't common back then. But that doesn't mean it's too late. In fact, now's the perfect time. Because the choices you make today are still shaping your tomorrow, and it's never too late to choose health, to choose energy, to choose a better, longer life. The truth is, your body doesn't need much. It just needs consistency. That's the magic of daily habits. Not big changes, not expensive treatments, just simple, thoughtful care. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up and head to the bathroom, remember what we talked about. Give your mouth that extra bit of care. Rinse your nose and breathe deeper. Wipe behind your ears and let your skin breathe. Wash and dry your feet like you're honoring all the miles they've taken you. You've earned this life. Let's make it last even longer, with strength, with clarity, and with just a little more care for the parts that keep you going. Now that we've walked through those 4 key body parts, your mouth, your nose, your ears, and your feet, it's time to talk about what comes next. Because here's the thing, knowing is just half the battle. What really counts is what you do with that knowledge. And don't worry, none of this is overwhelming. In fact, the beauty of it is just how simple and doable it all is. These aren't complicated medical treatments or drastic lifestyle overhauls. These are gentle daily habits that build strength, resilience, and peace of mind over time. Let's start with something you might not expect. A routine. Yep, a regular, predictable rhythm to your day. I know routines might sound boring to some people, but for your body and your brain, they're a lifesaver. When you wake up and know exactly what steps you're taking to care for yourself, brushing your teeth, rinsing your nose, washing behind your ears, drying your feet, your brain feels calm. It's not guessing, not stressed, not overwhelmed. That sense of order reduces anxiety and builds confidence. And confidence is something that only grows more important with age. Now here's a trick that works wonders. Tie your hygiene habits to something you already do. For example, if you always have your morning coffee, keep your floss and mouthwash right next to the coffee pot. That way you'll see it and think, okay, I take care of my mouth right after this. Stack your habits. Let one naturally lead into the next. You're not just building health, you're building momentum. And if bending over to reach your feet is tough, that's perfectly okay. There are soft-handled tools made just for seniors, with long reach and gentle brushes, designed so you don't have to twist yourself into a pretzel. You're not in this alone. There are smart, simple tools out there to make these tasks easier. Let's talk about the air you breathe, because it plays a huge part in keeping your nose and ears clean and your lungs strong. If you're living in a dry climate or using a lot of heating in winter, your sinuses can dry out fast. That's when irritation and infection start creeping in. One small, powerful change: a humidifier in the bedroom. It helps keep your nasal passages moist and healthy. Just remember to clean it regularly so you're not breathing in mold or dust. And while we're on the topic of air, getting outside, even just for a few minutes a day, can work wonders. Sunshine helps regulate your sleep, boosts your mood, and gives your body a little vitamin D, which helps with immunity and bone strength. Take a walk, sit in the yard, say hello to your neighbors. Movement and connection go hand in hand. Which brings me to something we can't ignore: mental health. Because yes, cleaning your body helps protect your physical health, but your emotional well-being is just as important. Feeling lonely, anxious, or forgotten. That kind of stress takes a toll on your heart, your brain, even your immune system. It drains your energy and chips away at your motivation. One of the best things you can do is stay connected. Call a friend, join a group, attend a class, even if it's just once a week. There are senior centers and community programs all over the country that offer art classes, walking groups, board game clubs, you name it. Don't think you have to be outgoing or bubbly. Just show up. Let the simple act of being around others remind you that you're not alone. And if you're someone who has lost a spouse or lives far from family, it's okay to feel that ache. But don't let it become your whole world. Reach out. Ask for help if you need it. Sometimes just talking to someone, whether it's a friend, a neighbor, or a counselor, can lift that heavy feeling. Now let's talk about something folks often push to the side: checkups. I know they're not fun, but regular visits to your doctor, dentist, and even your podiatrist, that's your foot doctor, can catch things early when they're easier to treat. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being proactive. You wouldn't drive a car for 10 years without a tune-up, right? So don't skip out on your body's checkup. Even if you feel fine, go. Because sometimes the most dangerous problems are the silent ones. High blood pressure, diabetes, circulation issues. They don't always scream for attention, but when caught early, they can be managed. You have the power to stay ahead of it. Use it. And here's something you might not hear often. Your attitude matters. It really does. People who keep a hopeful, flexible mindset tend to live longer and recover faster from illness. That doesn't mean pretending everything's perfect. It just means choosing to believe that you still have control over your life, your choices, and your joy. Start small. Say something kind to yourself in the mirror each morning. Focus on what's going right. Celebrate the fact that you're still learning, still growing, still taking care of yourself. That's something to be proud of. Not everyone gets to your age with your strength and spirit. You've earned your wisdom. Now use it to lift yourself up. If you need something to brighten your day, try writing things down. A little notebook where you jot down what made you smile, what you're grateful for, or even something funny you heard on the news. That small habit can shift your whole mood. And here's another gentle but powerful truth. It's okay to ask for support. Whether it's help with a hygiene routine, rides to appointments, or just needing someone to talk to, don't tough it out alone. Accepting help isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's knowing that life is meant to be lived together. Every part of this journey we've been on, every body part we've talked about, has led to one simple truth. Your body wants to take care of you, but you have to meet it halfway. Clean the parts that matter. Move your body a little more each day. Protect your peace of mind. Reach out when you need connection. And never forget, you still have so much to give and enjoy. All the science, all the medical advice, all the expert tips. None of it means much unless you actually take action. And you can, right now, starting today. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just one thing. Pick one small habit, maybe rinsing your nose before bed or washing your feet with more care, and commit to it. Then when that becomes second nature, pick another. That's how real change sticks. Not all at once, but piece by piece. You've already made it through so much in life. You've raised families, built careers, survived heartaches, celebrated milestones. This chapter of life, it's yours to shape however you want. Healthier, happier, stronger. One daily habit at a time. Let's take a moment to reflect. We've talked about 4 body parts you might never have realized were this important. Your mouth, your nose, your ears, and your feet. Not just to stay clean, but to stay well. These small areas might not get much attention in the typical how to live longer advice, but now you know the truth. They're the frontline defenders of your health. And the best part? You don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't need to make dramatic changes. You don't need a gym membership or a pile of supplements. You just need a few extra minutes of care. That's it. Everyday things, brushing properly, rinsing your nose, cleaning behind your ears, checking your feet, they're powerful, they're simple, and they work. They help prevent infections, improve circulation, support brain function, and even protect your heart. But here's the key, none of it works unless you actually do it. Knowledge doesn't make the change, action does. And I'm here to remind you, in the most loving way possible, that the time to start isn't tomorrow or next week, or when you feel like it. It's today, right now, because your health doesn't pause, and neither should your care for it. If you've been feeling like your body is slowing down, like your energy's lower than it used to be, or your mind isn't quite as sharp, those are signs. They're not just signs of age. They're signs that your body is asking for attention. And you know what? It's not too late to listen. It's not too late to respond. You've lived through changes, you've adapted, you've overcome. So whatever habits you've had up until now, whether you've paid attention to these areas or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you choose going forward. Start with one step, one small promise to yourself. Maybe tonight, you take an extra minute to clean and dry your feet properly. Maybe tomorrow morning you floss and rinse, not just to protect your teeth, but to protect your heart. Maybe you finally call your doctor and schedule that checkup you've been putting off. Every small action is a big statement. I'm not giving up on myself. And if it feels like too much, break it down. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up for yourself a little more each day. Now let's talk about something that goes even deeper than hygiene, personal responsibility. Because the truth is, no one else can care for your body the way you can. Not your doctor, not your family, not even your spouse. They can support you, but the day-to-day work, that's yours. That's your power. And when you start taking that responsibility seriously, something shifts. You start walking taller. You start feeling stronger. You don't just live longer, you live better. You gain independence, confidence, control. Too often, people start to believe that aging means handing over their lives to doctors, caregivers, or pills. But aging doesn't mean losing control. It means managing it differently, smarter, more intentionally. That's what you're doing here. That's why you're still watching this video. You're the kind of person who wants to stay in the driver's seat, who still has things to do, people to love, moments to enjoy. And every healthy habit you pick up now is a way of saying, I'm still in charge. So what do you do next? You act right now. Choose one thing, just one, from everything we've talked about and put it into practice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start, then build from there. And while you're at it, I'd love to hear from you. Have you had experience with any of the issues we discussed, like foot problems, gum disease, sinus troubles? Or maybe you've already made changes that helped you feel better? Share your story in the comments. You might inspire someone else to take that first step too. If you found this video helpful, take a second to hit that like button. It helps more people see this message. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because we're not done. There's more helpful, practical advice coming your way. Tips that don't just sound good, but actually make a difference. And hey, if you know someone who could benefit from hearing this, share it with them. A friend, a neighbor, someone from your church or community group. One simple video could be the thing that helps them avoid a hospital visit or finally feel a little more in control of their body again. Before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you. Seriously, thank you for showing up today, for listening, for caring enough about your health to learn something new. You're the reason I put this together. I know there's a lot of noise out there, so many voices telling you what to do and what not to do. But here, my goal is simple. Give you clear, real advice that helps you feel stronger, healthier, and more in charge of your life. You've still got time to feel better, time to stay active, time to enjoy every good thing life has to offer. Your story's not over. It's still being written, and every small daily act of self-care is a way of turning the page with strength and purpose. So tonight, when you're washing up, remember what we've talked about. Take that extra minute. Give those overlooked body parts the care they deserve. You might not see the results tomorrow, but over time, you'll feel the difference. In your energy, in your confidence, in your peace of mind. Because living longer isn't just about adding years. It's about adding life to those years. And you've still got so much life to live. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. You're worth the time and the effort. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. We're building a community here, one that looks out for each other, learns together, and lifts each other up. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay strong, stay healthy, and never stop choosing yourself.